Hey party people in the place to be, it's me Marky P in Harmony and I'm going to talk some tech. Right, so I've been messing around with a number of MIDI apps so that I can utilise something like an iPad and use it as a controller for a hardware device and some software and a number of different bits of integration. Now I use Serato remote for when I'm using this Serato, obviously, and it allows me to trigger off some of my samples and control some of the decks and load tracks into decks if I want to, but I don't really use it like that. What I do use it for, I mainly use it for, if I'm doing a show, I use it for jingles. But a couple of things sort of sprung to mind. A lot of the time before I was using Serato, I was using Traktor, and used Traktor for quite some time, and love Traktor's interface, always have. It's very efficient, gives me very little problems and so on. So I'm going to show you a program, or a couple of programs that I use that have helped me to, well, I suppose, instead of like having jingles on multiple pages or having a separate app that you have to plug into a separate source, all I'm doing is I'm using the iPad, which effectively sits there doing nothing when I'm doing shows, and use it as a controller. So rather than me going out buying an F1 or an X1, something like that with all of the remix deck banks, that sort of stuff, it's great. So I do have Serato DJ on there as well. So I use the remote app for Serato DJ and also virtual DJ as well. So I have the remote virtual DJ app. Now I actually prefer this one that I'm going to show you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin it around, and what I'll show you is the app that I'm talking about. So I'm talking about Traktor. I'm using it in my Denon MC6000 Mark II. I have had an S2 and S4 Traktor as well, but I prefer the Denon because it's actually a Digilog, which is it's a digital and analog mixer. So I've got 4 channels on it, so I can use CDJs in the 2 outside channels if needs be as well, which I have done at gigs. So when I did the Alexander O'Neill gig, I had 2 CDJs sat each side, just in case a guest DJ came up and used CDJs. Best of old and new. Somebody said, why don't you just get one big deck with it all built in, like the was it the R1? I think it is the Pioneer one. Yeah, I like Pioneer stuff, but at the end of the day, the Denon does this job. It's bomb proof. I've had it 2 years. And it's never let me down, and it's, yeah, never let me down. I think that's polite to say. Right, so I've got my iPad, I've got my Traktor Pro 2, the latest version, on there, and I've got down there, I've got all my remix decks. So these are where all my jingles are, so you know I can, exactly. Right, so if you saw that, right, so this app I'm talking about, it's called Touch OSC. Okay, so what I've done with Touch OSC is I downloaded it, but what I had to do is I had to look for a template that looked a bit like Traktor and mapped to Traktor. But also at the same time, what I had to find is I had to find this little program here called Touch OSC Bridge, which is, Touch OSC Bridge is a MIDI bridge program that allows MIDI signals to travel from your computer down your either USB or Wi-Fi. So what you can do is you can get this on the same Wi-Fi network as your machine. I prefer to do it direct, as if it's like a mapped MIDI device. And I know Tony Page was talking about how can I get something on here to actually control something over there. Well, this program I've got, this Touch OSC, which interestingly enough at the moment looks remarkably like a Traktor deck, and I'll show you what I've got is on here as well. I've got different layouts, so there's different layouts on here. There's Ableton Live on here as well, and a number of others. And what you can do is you can actually on your computer you can actually get like a program that allows you to upload templates. I uploaded this template. I found this template on one of the forums, and what it allowed me to do is it allows me to I can't really see it because it's very bright, isn't it? What it allows me to do is it allows me to make it look like it's a hardware controller. You might as well say, well, why bother all with that? Why not just go out and buy the hardware controller? Well, that kind of defeats the object, doesn't it, really? defeats the object of all this experimentation and embracing the new technology. Why not use this touch surface stuff to do it? You know, it's here, it's sat there doing nothing. So I've got this lovely interface. I've got the decks here that have volume as well. And what I can do is, it's telling me up here I've got one USB connection. So in theory, what should happen is, even though it might not now because I'd actually shut down the program. Oh yes. So you can see I've actually got the thing actually playing on here as well. If I stop that there just by ticking on Z. So what I've got is I've got these 16 banks, but also what I can do is I can actually go down here and actually select other banks as well. So what it's doing is actually controlling, you can see them going up and down. Yeah, I can put 64, I think it's 64 samples in these decks and have literally a bank of 64 jingles in there, or remix decks as well. So it's ideal, because what I'm doing is obviously I've got to up the volume, because what I can do is if I do that again, let's do this one, car battery one. As a car starting. But look, I can control the volume of it. And if I look over there, you can see the volume going up and down as well. Really cool. There's also a filter effect on it as well. I don't know why I'd want a filter effect on that deck. I have no idea why. But I just thought it was something I'd share with you. And as I say, what I can do is as well, even while the track is playing, I can still play those jingles. The cool thing is as well, I've noticed, I can also use the hardware as well to control the volume on that too, because I've also got a volume control on here as well for it. Nice one. So all I was going to say was I just wanted to share that with you. Just felt like, you know, show it. So as I say, the program is called, if you're using Traktor, the program is called Touch OSC. And what you do is you just set it up. When you actually set it up in there, you also see, you'll notice as well, there's a little icon up there that appears, that when you're doing this, see it flashing? That's the MIDI controls going through. And if I do the same over there, you'll be able to see it actually talking to Traktor. See that control flashing? That means a hardware device known as an iPad is running a software program that is talking down a hardware link to a hardware device that's controlling the software inside it. Yeah, work that one out. Last thing. Nice. Right. Okay. So if I do that, if I now come out of this program and launch the other one I use, so you can see I've got a number of these. I've got WavePad on here as well. If I use Serato, Serato will not control it because it'll be looking for it. It says, oh, I can't see it at the moment. So if I come out of this and just shut down Traktor, yeah, decks are still playing, yes, I know that. And this is what it's contending with. This is the difference between the two. All right. So if I now go into here and Serato. So what will happen is as soon as Serato starts to fire up, there it goes. Right, okay, so it's firing up. There you go. Laptop, Serato DJ. So I can go straight in and you can see there I've actually got my samplers. Now Serato have just done an update where what they've got is it's just loading all the decks. They've actually got 8 decks now, so there's 8 sample decks. So if I just pick, for instance, Airbag Centrals, put that in there, put that in there, yeah, oh god, the anthems, and you can see it all populates on here. And that's the difference. It's nice and clear. That interface is actually very clear. And if I bring up the panel, you should be able to see them. Okay, so what you've now got in Serato, they've now tried to catch up with that, and they've actually now got 8. But as you can see on here, I've only got 6. But I've got 4 banks of 6 on here. It should be 4 banks of 8. So hopefully this app will get an update as well. But the cool thing is, every time I change it on there, it changes on here too. Look, you can see I've got 2 spare slots. So, apps. The Serato one is a dedicated one for Serato DJ Remote. The app that I was using earlier on, the Touch one, the Touch OSC, is actually a separate from all the others. It's just a MIDI map, a MIDI designed app, and what it does is it literally will allow you to map MIDI controls to it, so you could actually do a version of it for Serato if you wanted to, and even make it look even more like Serato. Just thought I'd share that with you because that's the type of guy I am. I've got a virtual DJ one, but I don't want to show that today. I'm just going to show the major 2 that I use. I have also got Traktor DJ on here as well. Now, Traktor DJ is not the same as Traktor Pro. It's a separate program that just literally runs on your OS device or Android device. It don't link or sync or anything like that. You can download tracks to it. You can DJ off it. But it doesn't do anything on the remote control side. It uses all of its stuff within there. So you just have your library sat on your iPad and so on as well. You know, a few people actually use that as well, and it's a cool app for being ultra portable. Ideally, you just want it to be a tiny, well, I don't know, telepathic interface. No, you still need to get down and play a bit of that, don't you? Really? Yeah, I think so. Luther Vandross. I'm in a Luther Vandross mood. Right, I'll see you later.